Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It has been 1 month, a little bit over 1 month, since the Minnesota Wild pulled the trigger on the largest trade in franchise history and acquired Quinn Hughes from the Vancouver Canucks. I think since then it's been pretty evident he's had a very positive impact on this team, but just how good of an impact has that been? Today we're going to be running through the league power rankings as well as the standings for the Central Division, as well as diving a bit deeper into Hughes's direct impact on the defensive lines, as well as what the future holds for this Wild team. So, taking a look at Money Puck's power rankings here for the entire league, the Minnesota Wild currently sit in third place, trailing just the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche. I actually last night, before the game, when I was making the script for this video, the Wild were sitting in first place. So that loss to New Jersey slid them down a couple of spots, but still in a very strong position. This is on the back of some extremely good goaltending. You can see here they are sitting at a 3.84% score for goaltending. The next highest is the New York Rangers at 2.98. So very far ahead of the next best team and well above the league average in that regard. They sit in the top 10 for scoring chances at a 3.15%, trailing some very high powered teams like the Hurricanes, who are sitting there at 7.04, and the Lightning at 5.91. Uh, and then they still sit in the top five in ability to win. They're at four with 0.82% above league average. All of these together keep them very much in contention across the league, but especially in the Central Division. If we hop over there, you can see the Wild are still sitting in third place in the Central. They trail the Avalanche, who are way out ahead of everyone else. And then they have significantly closed that gap that they had earlier this season with the Dallas Stars. That is in no small part thanks to Quinn Hughes. They acquired him during this stretch here uh, when they were on a bit of a winning streak and helped close that gap to, it looks like the widest part there was 4 points and has widened out a little bit and now has come down to two. So, like I said, the Minnesota Wild have closed that gap with the Dallas Stars in no small part thanks to Quinn Hughes. Before the trade, the top pairing was Jonas Brodin and Brock Faber, and that had an expected goals percentage of 51.6%. The second pairing of Middleton and Spurgeon yielded a 48.5%, and the third pairing of Bouillon Bogosian yielded a expected goals percentage of 42.4. So overall pretty solid, but adding Hughes and shipping out Bouillon has benefited every single pairing. So the Hughes Faber pairing is now the best pairing the team has had all season with an expected goals percentage at 54.3, so jumping almost 3 percentage points. Brodeen Spurgeon sits at a 51%, so that's basically at the spot where Brodeen Faber were before the trade. And then the new third pairing of Middleton Bogosian sits at a 42.9, so about a half a point increase over Bouillon and Bogosian. The eye test does back this up. Hughes does add a very elite presence to the team, especially on that back end that opponents now also have to prepare for, in addition to guys like Kaprizov and Boldy, and can take some attention away from those players and open up some angles for them to score on. Uh, Hughes also helps bolster depth scoring. Him on the ice with guys like Tarasenko on the third line can really help boost some of their play as well, and I think we've seen that over the past month. So another interesting aspect of this trade for the Wild is if you are a Wild fan and you haven't been watching Quinn Hughes play with the Vancouver Canucks over the past couple years, you might not be aware of this, but Hughes is actually having a little bit of a down season. He currently has 3 goals, 36 assists for 39 points in 41 games. That puts him at just under a point per game pace for the entire year. And if you contrast that to even last year, He had 76 points in 68 games, including 16 goals. He had 92 points in 82 games in 2023 with 17 goals and 75 assists. So there's an entire offensive element to his game that he has not even shown as a member of this team. And a lot of that boils down to his shooting percentage this year is the lowest it's been his entire career. Currently, he's shooting just a 2.6%, with 1.7% on unblocked shots, uh, compared to 8.3% and 8.5% the past 2 years, with a 5.3% and 5.7% on unblocked shots. So that's a huge drop off, especially when you look at his shot attempts and shots on goal. This year, he's got 116 shots on goal on 283 attempts, which is a way higher rate than his previous two seasons, where he had 193 shots on goal in 493 shot attempts and 199 shots on goal in 540 the year before that. So, what that boils down to is Hughes is finding the net in terms of getting shots on goal a lot more than he has his previous couple seasons. He's just not scoring nearly as much. And so that results in a much lower shooting percentage. And as you can see, he's having a little bit of a down year, especially in that goal scoring department. But that brings a very exciting element for the future of this team is if he can come back and get some of that chemistry going with Brock Faber, which it seems like they might with how much they've been playing and the fact that they might be Olympic partners at the upcoming Winter Olympics. Uh, that chemistry could help right the ship for Quinn Hughes, and he could come back better than he has been for this team, which would be very, very exciting. So all this being said, there is still a big storm cloud looming over this trade in that Quinn Hughes has not been confirmed as to whether or not he is planning on re-signing with the Minnesota Wild. He has the remainder of this year as well as next year at $7.85 million. But then after that, he is a UFA and is free to sign wherever he would like. However, I am not worried about Guerin's ability to re-sign Hughes, or if Hughes is dead set on not staying as a member of the Wild, flipping him for uh, assets equal to what they gave up, similar to how we saw Rantanen get moved to Carolina and then to Dallas last year. So the a big part of this is I don't remember what insider said it, but they were talking about players signing in places like Dallas or Tampa or Florida due to the lack of an income tax. And they said, at the end of the day, yeah, that does drive signings, but the number one thing that draws players to sign for a team or re-sign for a team is that team having a contention window and keeping that contention window open. The Minnesota Wild are a very good hockey team and will continue to be a very good hockey team, and especially with Quinn Hughes, will be one of the better hockey teams in the NHL. And so I think there's no reason that I can think of that Quinn Hughes would want to leave to go to any other team, including the New Jersey Devils. He has said before that he does not want to block his brother Luke as a left side defenseman. He would hamper his brother's ability to be that star defenseman for the New Jersey Devils. And I don't think Quinn wants to make Luke live in his shadow for that team. So I have a hard time thinking that, if the Wild continue to be good, I doubt Quinn Hughes will want to go anywhere else. Looking at the Wild's situation here, we can see a lot of their good core pieces are locked up for at least the next 3 to 4 years. Obviously, Kaprizov's extension kicks in next year. Matt Boldy is still signed through 2030. Joel Eriksson Ek has 3 more years after this one. You got guys like Tarasenko who are coming off the books. Zuccarello is expiring this year, but I have a hard time imagining Guerin will let him leave. My guess is he will just continue to re-sign with this team until he opts to retire. Marcus Foligno is here as a good bottom six guy for the next couple seasons. Ryan Hartman is here for the next couple seasons unless he ends up getting traded. Yakov Trenin, Nico Sturm, Danila Yurov is still on his ELC. Johansson has been good as a depth scoring option, and then you've got some more replacement level guys in Tyler Pitlick, Vinny Hinostroza, and Ben Jones. Flipping over to defense, Brock Faber's obviously signed long term. Hughes and Jared Spurgeon both expire after next season. However, I think Jared Spurgeon is probably going to end up retiring just due to he's going to be 38 coming at the end of that. But that opens up a lot of money that you can just shovel to Quinn Hughes. It also opens up a roster spot for something we're going to get into here in a little bit. But you also have, Jonas Brodin, Jacob Middleton, Bogosian expires this year, and then you've got more depth guys in Damon Hunt and Matt Kiersted. As for goaltending, that's all locked down. You have Gustafson, obviously locked into his extension starting next year. You still have Wallstedt at a very nice deal, and he's an RFA, so you can get him for a more cost controlled price than you would finding another backup on the open market. So I think this team, cap wise, is in a very solid place. I think a lot of the holes that could open up on the roster are also very fillable by what they have in their prospect pool. If you're looking for a guy who could be a bottom six center, you have Caden Bankier, you have Hunter Height, that are both very solid options currently playing in Iowa. You also have unsigned guys like Charlie Strammel who are going to come in, Adam Benak, probably not this next year, but pretty soon after that is going to be vying for an NHL spot. And then on the defensive side, you have guys like David Juracek, who probably should be playing a little bit more of an NHL role, and especially with Bogosian expiring this year, you have an opening on that third pairing for him. You have David Spacek, who I think should probably get some NHL time. And then on the left side, you've guys like Carson Lambos and Jack Pert, who are probably going to be vying for NHL opportunities in the near future. So all of those guys are good internal options. I know there's been a lot of hope that the Wild can get that number one center to really round out their team. I don't think that's something that's realistically going to happen. I don't think they have the trade pieces unless they really want to completely wipe out the prospect cupboard. And additionally, there's just not anyone that looks like that in free agency. If we pull up the UFA list for this coming off season, really the best center is Nick Schmaltz, and he has a face-off percentage this year of 47%. So he's really not a 1C that can win you face-offs and drive play. And the Wild don't need that. I think Russo was talking about it in a recent article for The Athletic that the Wild are a fairly unique team in that they drive play more up the wings than they do down the middle. They've always had very talented wings. Kaprizov, Boldy, Fiala, Gabrick, that list goes on and on. But they've always been able to drive play effectively up the wings. And so, really, all you need out of a center is somebody who's going to win faceoffs. And so, a guy, I think, if they're really looking at a, top six, middle six center who can win faceoffs, I think Charlie Coyle could be an interesting option. A guy who can still produce. He's got 26 points in 45 games this year, but is he's got a 40 or a 51 percent face-off win percentage this season. So he's the type of guy that is probably going to be a little bit cheaper, and you can really spend the money where I think they should in targeting a guy like bringing Alex Tuck back in, or any of the other wing options that I think would be more impactful for this team than targeting a center just for the purpose of saying the Wild are getting a center. So I think keeping all that in mind, I think this team will continue to be very good. I think they will continue to be competitive with guys like Colorado and Dallas for years and years to come. And I don't think this team will have any issue re signing Quinn Hughes come next year. Also, as Russo has pointed out, they are the only team that can offer him, I believe, 8 years on a contract because the CBA kicks in, I think it's September. So there's a window where they can offer him 8 years. They are the only team that can do that. And they are also the only team that can offer a front loaded contract that you've seen a lot of these guys sign with the signing bonus structure, because that also gets wiped out in the new CBA. So I think if Quinn Hughes were to re-sign, we should see that fairly early in the season, and I'm not too terribly worried about that getting wrapped up. So let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Quinn Hughes is going to stay? What do you think the situation will be here come free agency? Do you think they're going to target a wing or a center? Or who would you like to see this team go after come free agency? So thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your day.